Good afternoon and welcome to Spectrum Television News at 4. I am Uyai Aniakan coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the major stories. President Tinubu meets with ministers of defense, service chiefs before leaving for G20 summit in India. Presidential election petition court to deliver judgment September 6. Plus, Pope Francis leaves Mongolia, urges dialogue to fix world's problems. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Thanks for joining us. We begin the news this afternoon with the reports that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with the Ministers of Defense, Chief of Defense Staff and the service chiefs behind closed doors at the Council Chamber of the State House, Abuja. In attendance were the Ministers of Defense Badaru Abubakar and Bello Matawali, Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, Permanent Secretary Abubakar Kana, Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Taurid Lakbaja, his Navy counterpart Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, and Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar. The meeting is expected to center around the security situation in the country as part of regular briefings by the security chiefs. President Tinubu will later in the day lead a high-powered delegation to attend the G20 summit in New Delhi, India, where he will engage with world and business leaders to drive investment to Nigeria. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has reassured Nigerians of his determination not to fail the country in carrying out a permanent transformation of the nation's economy to an enduring prosperity. Tinubu said this while receiving members of Tinubu Support Organization, TSO, on a solidarity visit to the Presidential Villa, Abuja. This is contained in a statement signed by the national spokesperson of the organization, Frank Eberinjoku, and made available to newsmen in Abuja. The president, who thanked the organization for standing on his mandate, expressed confidence in the capacity of his cabinet members to rescue the country from the present economic quagmire. Away from that, the federal government has appealed to the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) to suspend its planned two-day warning strike slated to commence on Tuesday, September 5th. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, made the appeal today in Abuja. The minister promised to attend to the contending issues raised by the NLC holistically if given some time to settle into office. He noted that although the ministry was yet to get a notification of the planned strike as required by law from the NLC, the ministry will be having a meeting with the labor leaders by 3 p.m. today with a view to stopping the planned strike. Meanwhile, the federal government has issued a 30-day ultimatum to illegal miners to desist from such activities in the country. Speaking during a press conference in Abuja, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, explains that all efforts to formalize unlicensed miners into cooperatives have proved abortive. He further stated that the ministry will review all mining licenses in the country as part of its transformation agenda. This follows the minister's promise last week to sanitize the solid mineral sector by adopting more stringent regulations to create stability. Receiving the Australian High Commission to Nigeria, Lynn Justin, in his office in Abuja, Alake had lamented the impact of illegal mining while pledging to address the situation. He also promises to give priority to investors in the sector in order to improve the economy and create employment opportunities. On her part, the Australian envoy is committing to provide support for the optimization of solid minerals in Nigeria. In the meantime, the federal government has said that the electricity meter upgrade process to be implemented by power distribution companies would not affect the credit unit's balance in the meters. It disclosed this in a statement issued in Abuja by the Nigerian Electricity Management Service Agency, NAMSA, stressing that the agency would ensure that all electricity meters and instruments deployed in the sector were of the right standard. The managing director, NEMSA, Liu Tahir, disclosed this while reacting to the issue of standard transfer specification for the upgrade of prepaid meters by means of token identifier rollover, which is set for commencement by the power distributors in Nigeria. Tahir explained that in order to overcome the TID rollover occurrence, all meters would require key change tokens with the rollover BIT set, which would be provided by the discount. On judicial matters, the Presidential Election Petition Court (PEPT) is expected to deliver judgment on the February general election on Wednesday, September 6. Court of Appeal Registrar Umar Bangari confirmed this in an interview with newsmen, saying the proceedings will be open to live broadcast by interested media stations. The judgment is also expected to be delivered by election tribunals in 25 states for governorship, National Assembly, and State Assembly election petitions. Recall that the Labour Party, People's Democratic Party, and the Allied People's Movement, as well as their respective presidential candidates, had petitioned the tribunal seeking to nullify the election of President Bola Tinubu as winner of the 2023 presidential election. Back here on the home front, Governor Moino, who has reiterated his administration's commitment to deliver on the campaign manifesto made to local government areas during the electioneering campaign that culminated in his emergence as executive governor, assuring the people of Itu local government area on development of road infrastructure and revitalization of the rich tourist potentials to enliven the area and boost the tourism sector of the state's economy. Governor Ino was addressing the congregation of the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, West Itam Parish, Ikorandem, Itu local government area, where he attended the church service. He stated that his administration has made progress in the delivery of promises made to Itu people, noting that he has annexed the tourism potentials of the area, starting from his visit to the Mary Slessor tomb and other tourist sites in the area. The state's chief executive used the occasion to shed light on the palliatives earlier scheduled for distribution to the people from today, Monday, the 4th of September, regretting that the state rice millers have not lived up to their promise of delivering the consignment as agreed, and gave them marching orders to supply the rice in 72 hours or risk contracting the supply to outsiders. Governor Ino therefore urged the Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Offiong Afo, to call the rice millers to order and ensure that the commodity is supplied as agreed, warning that the millers should not capitalize on the urgency for the need of the commodity to swindle government. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that in his sermon, the Deputy Clerk General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, Right Reverend Anefio Ekop, who preached on the theme Godliness with Contentment, admonished that God does not intend to keep his people from prospering, but wants them to maintain balance and moderate the tendencies towards unnecessary battles, exploitation, fear, and loss of peace in pursuit of material wealth. The cleric was of the opinion that Akwa would be a better place if people lived with the understanding that whatever they acquire in life loses value as soon as they cease to breathe, and advised the congregants to strive to secure spiritual blessings which will count for them after the present life.